So Newsmax, you know we're getting a real hard time from DIRECTVE and AT&T. They deplatformed us. I think they regret it. The good thing is we are finding friends all over the place. Viewers on Capitol Hill, some very powerful people, some not so powerful people. It's all great. Conspicuously absent, Fox News Channel. You know, they bend over backwards to virtue signal and show how supportive they are of CNN when they go through something, like when Jim Acosta get his press credentials revoked for 6 hours. But they haven't come to our defense. They've said nothing almost. Bernie Kerik noticed this, and he wrote about it for Newsmax.com. Quite the piece. Fox News suddenly afraid. Why? And of what? Former Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik of New York City joins us once again. Commissioner, welcome. And yeah, how about that,
Rick.
Fox News? What do you make of that?
Well, my question is, what are they afraid of? Why aren't they speaking out? Fair, unbalanced, and unafraid. Really? If you're unafraid, why aren't you defending the First Amendment? Why aren't you defending another network, a conservative network, one of the biggest conservative networks in the country today? Why aren't you defending them? Do they not realize that they could be next? Unless there's some backdoor stuff going on between Fox and AT&T. But I have to tell you, Greg, anybody looks at this with common sense, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, the reality is they've taken a stance to eliminate, diminish, demolish Newsmax.
Well,
I think it's wrong.
I want to go to your piece. Beautifully written, by the way. Full screen 2, if you don't mind. Fox's disgustingly transparent silence while AT&T's DIRECTVE attempts to sabotage and destroy Newsmax, a major fellow conservative network, is painfully abhorrent and raises serious questions of motive and intent. Is this an opportunity to remain silent while DIRECTVE attacks and attempts to destroy their principal conservative competitor? Yes, that is the word, competitor. Let's face it, we made them nervous. We make them nervous. We've beaten them occasionally. They are much bigger than us. They've got greater resources than we do. They would like us gone. So that means they like money more than freedom.
But you know what, Greg? I think your example, and I talked about this in the piece, when CNN had a reporter that was thrown out of the White House for a matter of hours, mind you, Fox News went bonkers, went crazy, all over it. Freedom of the press, freedom of speech, nobody should be treated like this. Well, according to the Daily Beast, and I think their number's pretty right because I haven't been able to find anything anywhere, I think Fox has basically spoken about Newsmax for about 35 seconds. And that was in passing on a Sunday talk show that I don't know many people that listen to it. So the bottom line is, where are they? What are they afraid of? Why aren't they lashing out? Why aren't they speaking out? Why aren't they going after AT&T and DIRECTV?
It's a shame. And we all have our favorites at Fox, but right now it's a shame. And I think it's a competition thing. I haven't been on Fox to talk about matters that normally a conservative would be on to talk about. I want to go to Victoria Sparks, representative in the House of Representatives, and she's been tweeting and putting out statements. And let's go through this, please. The issue of deplatforming Newsmax and removing other non-conforming accounts by large communications oligopolies is not just an issue of censorship spreading like plague in our country, but also an issue of government-created, protected, and subsidized monopolies turning us into an oligarchy. If we continue on this path, we will start resembling a totalitarian country very soon. The House Judiciary Committee, responsible for protecting our constitutional rights, has a duty to start dealing with this issue urgently. And actually, I think the Judiciary Committee is on board. The Department of Justice, which is very powerful, and the Biden administration and the United States Senate, not so much, sir.
Yeah, I agree, Greg. I mean, it's bizarre. We live in a time where the Department of Justice and the FBI have been corrupted to the point that nobody where I come from, in the past 35 years being in this business, nobody would ever believe what they're watching today. No one. The Justice Department, the FBI, is completely controlled by Joe Biden. They've ignored Hunter Biden. They've ignored one thing after another, political out of political motivations.
Yeah.
And I think this is just another thing in that direction. This whole deplatforming Newsmax.
Jim Acosta, I just got to do this real quick. Jim Acosta, that jerk, when he gave that woman a hard time at the White House and they came out guns blazing. Fox News for Jim Acosta, standing up for this guy who his civil rights weren't violated. He got fresh with somebody and they removed his pass for a week. Fox News stands with CNN. Passes for working White House journalists should never be weaponized. Give me a break. They just want approval from the swamp. They really do. They don't care. They don't care. Some do, but most don't over there. Bernie Carrick, we appreciate it so much. Great piece. To be continued, and we'll be right back.